think, act, and prosper. You are now tuned into the Money Level Show.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Money Level Show where we think, act, and prosper. And so today we're going to talk about something that I've been talking about for a while, and the importance of being out of the main financial system. And so back when I started this channel back in October, I did a few podcast episodes on digital currencies and how the digital dollar is going to be a thing. And I also talked a lot about Senate Bill 3571, the Banking for All Act, in which was going to be implemented at some point. And so this act was actually passed in March of 2020, right when the pandemic first started. And this act pretty much states that every person has to have an account with the Federal Reserve, every business has to have an account with the Federal Reserve, and that money will be digital, and that banks will only be the digital wallet holders versus our accounts being with the actual banks. And so I encourage you all to check that out. I'm going to link that in the description below. Now we're just going to dive into Jerome Powell, who actually came out a few days ago and said that the Federal Reserve is actually working on a digital currency. And so Jerome Powell definitely says some things that I don't believe, or at least what I think that will change in the future. But we're going to go ahead and dive into that. Kitco News posted this snippet of Jerome Powell talking about digital currencies. This is something that I've been talking to you about for a while. And so let's go ahead and dive into that.
Today we are in the midst of a technological revolution that is fundamentally changing our world, reshaping how we communicate, access information, and purchase goods and services. As the central bank of the United States, the Federal Reserve is charged with promoting monetary and financial stability and the safety and efficiency of the payment system. In pursuit of these core functions, we have been carefully monitoring and adapting to the technological innovations now transforming the world of payments, finance, and banking. The effective functioning of our economy requires that people have faith and confidence not only in the dollar, but also in the payment networks, banks, and other payment service providers that allow money to flow on a daily basis. Our focus is on ensuring a safe and efficient payment system that provides broad benefits to American households and businesses while also embracing innovation. In the Fed's early days, the development of dedicated telegraph wires facilitated the transfer of funds between banks. In the 1980s, automated clearinghouse services made it possible for electronic bill payments to be an alternative to paper checks. In 2019, the Federal Reserve committed to building the FedNow service, which will enable banks to provide real-time or instant payments to their customers around the clock, 365 days a year, benefiting communities across America. Recently, the rise of distributed ledger technology, which offers a new approach to recording ownership of assets, has allowed for the creation of a range of new financial products and services, including cryptocurrencies. To date, cryptocurrencies have not served as a convenient way to make payments, given, among other factors, their swings in value. Nonetheless, coins tied to the value of the dollar or another currency, known as stablecoins, have emerged as a new way to make payments. These stablecoins aim to use new technologies in a way that has the potential to enhance payments efficiency, speed up settlement flows, and reduce end-user costs. But they may also carry potential risks to those users and to the broader financial system. For example, although the value of a stablecoin may be tied to the value of a dollar, these coins may not come with the same protections as traditional means of payment, such as physical currency or the deposits in your bank account. Therefore, as stablecoins' use increases, so must our attention to the appropriate regulatory and oversight framework. This includes paying attention to private sector payments innovators who are currently not within the traditional regulatory arrangements applied to banks, investment firms, and other financial intermediaries. Technological advances also offer new possibilities to central banks, including the Fed. In particular, technology now enables the development and issuance of central bank digital currencies, or CBDCs. A CBDC is a new type of central bank liability issued in digital form. While various structures and technologies might be used, a CBDC could be designed for use by the general public. For the past several years, the Federal Reserve has been exploring the potential benefits and risks of CBDCs from a variety of angles, including through technological research and experimentation. Our key focus is on whether and how a CBDC could improve on an already safe, effective, dynamic, and efficient U.S. domestic payments system. We think it is important that any potential CBDC would serve as a complement to, and not a replacement of, cash and current private sector digital forms of the dollar, such as deposits at commercial banks. The design of a CBDC would raise important monetary policy, financial stability, consumer protection, legal and privacy considerations, and will require careful thought and analysis, including input from the public and elected officials. To help stimulate broad conversation, the Federal Reserve Board will issue a discussion paper this summer outlining our current thinking on digital payments, with a particular focus on the benefits and risks associated with CBDC in the U.S. context. As part of this process, we will ask for public comment on issues related to payments, financial inclusion, data privacy, and information security. We are committed at the Federal Reserve to hearing a wide range of voices on this important issue before making any decision on whether and how to move forward with a U.S. CBDC, taking account of the broader risks and opportunities it could offer. The paper represents the beginning of what will be a thoughtful and deliberative process. Irrespective of the conclusion we ultimately reach, we expect to play a leading role in developing international standards for CBDCs, engaging actively with central banks in other jurisdictions, as well as regulators and supervisors here in the United States throughout that process. The Federal Reserve remains committed to ensuring that the public has access to a safe, reliable, and secure payment system. Our forthcoming paper on the evolution of digital payments is intended, along with our other work as supervisor, regulator, and payment system operator, to advance the objective of ensuring that the payment system and the economy work for all Americans. We look forward to hearing your thoughts on this important topic.
All right, so we just heard from Fed Chair Jerome Powell about the CBDCs, which are central bank digital currencies. And so I've been talking about this for a while, that the Fed is trying to make dollars digital. And right now, I mean, we can see that obviously when they do stimulus and stuff like that, and when we talk about money printing, they're usually just going in and changing digits on the screen. And so money is pretty digital for the most part. However, the concern is about the banning of cash. And so the banning of cash is going to be very important and concerning to all of us, because if we're not able to interact in ways where the government doesn't know about it, what kind of risks are there? So Jerome Powell sounds very collaborative in this video, and he may be genuine about that. So I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. I'm not going to say he's, trying to plot something, which he could be. But the thing is that he says that, okay, this isn't to be replacing of cash and things like that. But who's to say in the future, whenever another economic crisis happens, or we have another Fed chair and things change? I mean, every time the government or government entities or banks, they put in these policies, it's supposed to be, for the good of everyone. And then they have to go back and change that for some reason later on. And so I am betting my money that eventually cash will be rid from society. And people have talked about this from decades. This is not something new. It's always been treated as conspiracy theories, but now we're seeing it firsthand with the Federal Reserve actually making a digital currency, making the dollar digital. And so I do have some concerns about, when COVID first started, we did see people saying, oh, it's getting into cash, COVID's spreading through the cash. We had a change shortage for a while, coin shortage, and sometimes you still see those signs and you're like, okay, like where are the coins at? And so those are some things that I kind of felt were kind of fishy. I mean, even in the first stimulus bill, we saw Nancy Pelosi come out about the digital dollar. And so this was being talked about for a while. This was being plotted and planned for a while. The Senate bill says that the Federal Reserve was supposed to have it ready by 2021. I think it was January 2021 or something like that, but they are far behind the ball. We can see that China already has their digital currency, and I believe that they're fully digital, where people are having to use fully digital yuans over there. And so for over here, we're still kind of behind the ball, and some people suspect that it's going to roll out in about 2 years, 2023, something like that. But I'm not sure on the timeline on it, but obviously we see that they're going to come out with a research paper or white paper in this summer, and they're going to talk about how they plan on rolling this out. So Jerome Powell talks like he's really collaborative. He wants to hear from the people and stuff like that. But we have to remember that Jerome Powell and the Federal Reserve is a private entity. So they may want to hear from the people and may want to seem collaborative, but at the end of the day, they're still going to make their own decision. That does not mean that they're going to take in the concerns of the citizens of America. And so that's something that you have to think about. And so the importance of this is that you have assets out of the main financial system. And so that is why I talk about gold, silver, and cryptocurrencies, because they are out of the main financial system. They are not tied to a social security number where you have, say like if you were to get sued, or if you were to get, or you owe child support or something, and they come and garnish your wages, or they see what assets you have. I mean, shoot, even my barber, said that one time child support went into his brokerage account, sold all his stocks and took the money out. So those are counterparty risks, is when you have mainstream assets that are in the main financial system, such as stocks, bank accounts, mortgages, your house, things like that. Those are all tied to your social security number and are therefore can be garnished, therefore can be have a judgment against, a lien against, all those different types of things. And so you want to have assets outside of the mainstream financial system, such as gold, silver, and cryptocurrencies. That is just what I wanted to talk about today, you all. I really care about this. I really hope that people think about the future and how this is going to play out with our kids. I mean, I personally have a biblical perspective on this, me being a Christian, but I want to hear what you guys think about that. What do you guys think about a cashless society and people being able to control what you do, or being able to press a button and turn off your account, turn off your access to capital, turn off your access to be able to buy groceries? We've heard talk about identification going digital and things like that. So what are your thoughts on that, giving people so much power to be able to press a button and turn off your access to your livelihood? I mean, we're already seeing that with social media, where people are getting deplatformed and people are getting monitored and stuff like that. Even on my own personal Facebook, whenever I make a post, it says this post has been submitted to admin or moderator for approval. And so that goes to show me that liberties are being stripped away and things like that. And so I want to hear you guys' opinion on that. What do you guys think is going to happen? What do you guys think? How do you guys think this is going to play out? And be sure to leave that in the comment section below. All right, peace.